To discuss this story in more detail, Dr. Andrew Lownie joins us. He's the author of Entitled, The Rise and Fall of the House of York. Dr. Andrew, first of all, you clearly have studied Prince Andrew, his life in details. How serious do you think this latest wave of allegations is, not just for him, but also for the monarchy at large and the firm?
I think it's very serious. I think this is the biggest crisis for the monarchy since the abdication in 1936, because we're not just talking about sexual allegations and financial corruption within a senior member of the royal family, but also how that institution has protected him and in fact tried to suppress this story. Virginia Giuffre, in her book and indeed in my book, talk about how ABC television in the States was threatened by the palace with no access to royals in the future if they were to run a critical story on Andrew. And of course, over the next few years, many girls were abused as a result of that. And I certainly found a lot of opposition to me when I was researching this book over the last 4 years. For example, ambassadors were told by the Foreign Office not to talk to me. Complaints were made to the Queen about Andrew and they were ignored. She often actually just gave him honours after these scandals emerged. And so I think there are a lot of questions for the royal family to answer. I mean, this could have been nipped in the bud years ago, and the result actually is that they are now infected with or tainted with the scandals surrounding the Queen's second son.
With these allegations to the fore of pretty much every tabloid and newspaper around the world, the business secretary said he would support Andrew giving evidence in the US. Is there any realistic chance you think of that happening, given your insight into the royal family?
Well, he claims to be an honourable man and to put the country and the monarchy first, but there's no evidence of that. If so, he would have vacated Royal Lodge by now, and he would have made himself as a material witness to both the lawyers of the victims and indeed to the law enforcement in the States. I don't see him doing that, I think, unless he's compelled to do so, but I do think there are good cases for him to be investigated for a number of things. One, by the National Crime Agency for his time as a special trade envoy, where he put his own personal financial interests ahead of those of promoting British trade. Secondly, for malfeasance in a public office, not least getting his police protection officer paid for by the taxpayer to investigate and try and smear Virginia Giuffre. And then for this sex trafficking of an underage girl to Britain. The Metropolitan Police claim to have looked into these on 3 separate occasions. I think I found no evidence they actually did anything. And I do hope now, with public, parliamentary and media pressure, something will eventually be done about this man.
Of course, as we mentioned, Prince Andrew denies these allegations which have been put to him, but King Charles obviously heavily involved in this at the moment as well, and we're seeing that dukedom coming into question. How much influence actually does King Charles have over his brother's life and I guess his future within the royal family at this point?
Well, I think he has a lot of influence, and I think it's a shame that it wasn't a statement from King Charles last Friday that Prince Andrew was allowed to make his own rather mealy-mouthed and actually pretty inaccurate statement saying that he had just made this decision on his own behalf. There are letters patent which could remove some of these titles. Queen Marguerite of Denmark, I think, has done this already. They could certainly make parliamentary time to remove some of the titles. I mean, at the moment, it's meaningless saying that he won't use them. I think there's pressure that could be put on him to move out of Royal Lodge. And I think there needs to be a new era of openness from the royal family about, for example, their finances, the way that they control records. Many of them are not available. I've wanted to look at the records for Andrew's time as a trade envoy between 2001 and 2011, and I've been denied those, though they should by law be in the National Archives. And every way was used to prevent me getting access to them. So I think, there are a lot of questions for the palace to answer, quite apart from all the scandal around Prince Andrew.
Dr. Andrew, is it possible that he will lose the entire title of prince? We're seeing the dukedom being removed. Could he become a commoner, effectively, and have his birthright title revoked completely? Is that something the Parliament actually have the power to action?
Yes, I think they do. But I don't think we should say nothing is out of limits now. And I think this is what the public wants. This man, should be demoted to a commoner. It's a ridiculous situation where they claim to have taken titles away or put them in abeyance, and he still lives in Royal Lodge and can call himself Prince Andrew. And I think the palace is way behind public opinion on this, and they need to catch up quickly.
You've written extensively about Andrew's sense of entitlement. In fact, it's the title of the book, entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York. Does his handling of these allegations and of this scandal at large still fit that pattern?
Absolutely, and I think he's still in denial about exactly what he's done. I think he feels he's been unfairly done by. He's a man who's we can see doesn't tell the truth. He's been caught in lie after lie. The recent emails have shown this. I delineate it in the book. There's been huge media coverage over the last 30 years showing this, and I think he needs to come to terms with what he's done. He needs to make some sort of apology and contrition, and I think he needs to make himself available to the lawyers of the victims to explain, as Amy Wallace was saying yesterday, the ghostwriter, to explain exactly what happened, what he saw, and help us to understand this extraordinarily wide network of elites who are abusing young girls.
With the younger members of the firm, such as Prince William, referring to the future of the monarchy as well, he will be picking up the pieces for the fallout from these allegations, which likely will go on for many, many a year. Are we likely to see a shift, do you think, in the monarchy's handling of these allegations going forward? Are they likely to want to wash their hands of it completely? And what do you think is actually next for Prince Andrew? Will he go into exile?
Well, I hope that they have taken these allegations seriously and that they will be doing their own investigations into what's happened. It hasn't happened so far. I do think that there is a good chance that he may go into exile if he isn't sent to prison. And that is, I think, what people want. They don't like this idea of him still being on the Windsor royal estate. They want him out of the way and for the monarchy to get on with its job. It does a great job, but he's caused it huge reputational damage.
Allegations like this, which of course Prince Andrew continues to deny, will tarnish the royal family, I'm sure, for many a year to come. But Dr. Andrew Lownie, who's the author of entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening.